Hello and welcome back to another video, and we're sat here at the piano today to talk about a new song that came out from the Beatles, if you believe it or not. Yes, they got back together and they put out the third John Lennon song that they've been working on since the 90s. So if you're not familiar with the songs that they've already done, the first one was Free as a Bird. And yes, this is a cassette single, still wrapped up. I'm not going to open it. I had to get it from Goodwill for only $2, but that's besides the point. So on this one, you had Free as a Bird backed with, even though, it's cassette tape. The Christmas Time is Here Again from their fan club Christmas records. Okay, we didn't really have that one before this point, so fair enough. So after Free as a Bird, then we got on Anthology 2. We had A Real Love, which is everybody's favorite out of the three songs, including mine. The cover is not as great, in my opinion, because it's just a picture of them from the mid 60s as opposed to something more original. Well, we'll get on covers here in a second. The other problem I have with this one is the B side is just Babies in Black. Nothing out of the, nothing spectacular. It's a good song, but not anything, unreleased or, not, I'll explain it here in a second. So you got the third one. You have Now and Then, which is recorded now and not then because they couldn't record it back in the 90s because they couldn't get his voice extracted properly from the tape. And it took him until now to use AI to pull the voice, even though I've seen people on YouTube do it 10 years ago. But hey, whatever. So the B-side to this one is Love Me Do, because they wanted to say we're going to put the first single and the last single together as one package. That's a good idea. The only problem I have with this, the cover art is not that great. As you can see in all the shininess, it's not that great. The tape itself is actually pretty nice because it's supposedly a replica of what the tape looked like that Yoko gave to Paul. Fine. Now, the album version of it, still, it's the bigger version of this. Some people are saying it's supposed to be like the EMI building with these lines and them looking over. I don't buy that for a second. However, the real art is on the back. Why couldn't they just use this as the front? This looks so much better. Now and then written out in little tiles. Yeah, you can see the A side, B side here. I like this side. This side, it's all right. I did open this one just because I did intend on listening to it in this format. This one does come with an insert with a bunch of information on it. I do not plan to open the tape just because I don't have the other two open, so I thought I'd keep them all together as sealed cassettes. And who knows, maybe they'll be more rare. They made like 1,000 different colors. Like, this is the Spotify edition that is supposed to be the only way to get a 10-inch version. I don't know if that makes it any different, as far as sound quality. Maybe it does. I'm not buying a 7-inch to compare it. I'm gonna stick with the one. Now, about the songs, which ones are the best and which ones are the worst? I like Free as a Bird. I can understand how people may not pick that as their favorite or even as their least favorite because it's maybe a little more drony compared to the other ones. Real Love is the most Beatley, even in the way that they produced it. They kind of did what they did on Sgt. Pepper and Magical Mystery Tour. They recorded it, kind of bumped it up half an octave. So instead of it being in D, it became in E flat. And that's something they've always done before. Now and then, they use some bits from the original recording. I'm not particularly happy with how little George is on it, but that's fine. Sound quality wise, John's voice is very clear. I almost wish they would AI the other ones just a little bit. I mean, The Real Love sounds alright. Free as a Bird, he sounds like he's underwater. But it's fine. Just leave him as is. We don't need to go messing up things. The only thing that I don't care for in Now and Then is they removed the bridge. Now, if you don't know the song, there was 3 parts. There's the main verses, which is I know it's true, and that part. And then there's the choruses, which is now and then I miss you. But there was another part which went in between, which kind of connected it. So when the verses ended with the then there was a walk down and the whole bridge, which is now gone. There's many reasons why they say that they removed it. I thought maybe it was the quality of the tape. Maybe that part of the song was unsalvageable. I have been proven wrong just by re-listening to the original tape. It's not that bad. They could have used it. Then I thought about, well, what was the point of this song? Now and then, what was it written for? Some people, and even myself, believe it was maybe a song written from John to Paul saying, "Now and then I miss you," and the whole Beatles situation. And the bridge was very unlike the rest of the song, I guess you could say. Most of the song was kind of sentimental. "Now and then I miss you. I know it's true. It's all because of you." And then the bridge is like, I don't want to use you, lose you, or abuse you, and all that kind of stuff. And it kind of didn't fit. It it did for a John song, but for a Beatles song, especially if maybe that's how Paul took it, it was about him. Maybe he took it out for that reason. So I gotta say, I like the bridge. I think it's what made the song whole. It's not bad now, but yeah, some people say they're going to make a version, not officially, but some people on YouTube are going to try to AI the voice out and just fill in and put in the bridge again. And who knows? Maybe I'll even cover it at some point. But yeah, the Beatles came together in a wonderful time of year. Because if you want to give a theme to each month, I did all scary stuff in October. Here we are in November, so if you're in the U.S., you have Thanksgiving, a time for giving thanks, coming together. And they did. They came together one final time, even though, Paul and Ringo still work together anyway. In fact, Paul just wrote a song for Ringo and played on it on his last EP. Something about sunshine. I don't remember the full name of Feeling the Sunshine, I believe is what it's called, something like that. Don't quote me on that. But they're still going to work together, they are. But the last time the four of them will be together. Because to be honest, there's 12 more John songs they could do. But there's no George on it, so fair. They're going to call it quits at 3. So I hope you enjoyed. If you haven't heard these songs, Now and Then is great. Free as a Bird is pretty good. But if you have to pick one to listen to, just start with Real Love. I've actually sent this song to people who maybe weren't necessarily Beatles fans, and they thought it was pretty catchy, and they quite enjoyed it. So I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you next time.